Hey, I'm Gordon, founder and CEO of Subconscious, and I'd love to show you a bit of what we're up to. This is the promise of tools for thought. I think it's what we all picture. The expanded mind, galaxy brain, and the chance to connect our thoughts together to think bigger than we could think by ourselves. Unfortunately, though, the experience of tools for thought is more often like this. There's a real meme and a real frustration. Our thoughts are trapped in app silos. This is frustrating if we want to think across multiple apps, but what's worse is if I want to think with you and you use a different app, we're out of luck. This isn't really the fault of any of these apps, it's a limitation of the web. It used to be that if you wanted to create a multiplayer experience, the only real way you could do that was through a centralized platform. And the problem with centralized platforms is that they belong to a centralized authority. The truth is, the thoughts you think on these platforms, they don't belong to you. They belong to the platform, and the platform can shut you out. If you're a developer and you want to build on top of that platform new tools for the user to use, they can shut you out too. This is unfortunate. These kinds of dynamics are what are keeping our second brains small and lonely. Luckily, though, there are a new generation of self-certifying decentralized protocols. They let us build multiplayer experiences that are user-owned. How do they do this? Well, you've probably heard of some of these protocols. Blockchains are one, but it's actually a larger family that includes familiar protocols like Git, as well as stuff further out like ZK proofs, and peer-to-peer protocols like IPFS, which we happen to use. Now, the thing all of these protocols have in common is they use cryptography instead of a centralized authority to guarantee security in a multiplayer experience. This is great. It gives us the primitives we need to build a protocol that belongs to users rather than the platform. So, I feel it's time to think a little bigger. Why trap our thoughts in app boxes when we could connect them up on a protocol we own? Let's build a worldwide decentralized knowledge graph. That's Noosphere. You could think of Noosphere as like a Roam graph or an Obsidian graph, except it's massively multiplayer and cryptographically signed and distributed across IPFS, a peer-to-peer network. Noosphere doesn't exist in our app or on our servers. It's actually distributed across a worldwide network of peers. Anyone can use Noosphere for any reason. We like to think of it as a common repository for human thought. Now, we're building actually a client for Noosphere called Subconscious. We think you're going to love it. It's a shared mind expanded by the knowledge graph and AI. But actually anyone can build on top of Noosphere, and we're excited to see what other tools for thought do with it, as well as plugin authors. Noosphere belongs to everybody. It's decentralized, it's permissionlessly composable, and it's credibly neutral. It's a protocol like email or HTTP. You can build anything you want on top and no one can tell you no. Better still, anything you create on top of Noosphere is yours truly. It's secured with keys you control. You get files synced live to your device, so you always have your data, and you can access your data via any IPFS peer. To show you a bit of what that looks like, I want to show you the Noosphere Lite client. This is a little data backpack app that we created so users would have access to their data no matter what. It doesn't live on our servers or on an app store. It's actually on the IPFS peer-to-peer network, so you can access it from any gateway or by running an IPFS peer on your machine. So let's take a look. All right, here's my Sphere viewer, and you can see I have a collection of notes here. And let's go ahead and click on one. I'm going to click on the Noosphere note. This is just my notes on the protocol. You can see we got some transcludes here, pretty simple. But if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, we get something interesting. So first, I can download everything from my data backpack. So if an app tries to lock me in, I can always get my data out through this data backpack. More importantly, though, I got these little IDs here. What are these? So this is an IPFS hash. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to hop over to my IPFS node that I'm running on my desktop here. So you could think of this as like a blockchain block explorer, except instead of looking at a blockchain, we're looking at the IPFS network. So I'll go ahead and paste in that ID and inspect it. And look at that. Here's all of my data in JSON format. But what does this tell us? Anyone can build on top of Noosphere. I can build an app, you can build an app, And we can actually both work on the same data, and the user gets to bring their data between multiple apps. They also are able to own their data, and they have credible exit through their data backpack in any IPFS node. So that is Noosphere, a second brain, that's yours truly, and a worldwide knowledge graph belonging to everybody. I'm thrilled with the team that we've assembled to build this. We've worked on the internet's foundations at Chrome, at Mozilla, at Cloudflare, and now we're building infrastructure for an internet of ideas. Now, we've also closed our seed round, which I'm very excited about, with Blueyard, with Betaworks, and with Protocol Labs, the inventors and maintainers of IPFS, so perfect partners for going forward. Now, we'd love to chat. Sorry we couldn't be here today, but this is a QR code to our Discord. Please come say hello, and thanks. We'll see you on the Noosphere.